and thank you all for rejoining again. Um, as most of you know, my role as an analyst with Real Story Group, my whole life is devoted to helping people at the early stage of getting digital asset management up and running, right? So from everything from helping people build the business case, identifying the needs, and help them navigate a very complicated marketplace in order to pick the right digital asset management technology for what it is they're trying to do. But oftentimes that's where my role ends, right? And that's why I'm really looking forward to today's presentation from Jade Jourdan from Edwards Lifesciences, because she's going to talk about what happens next once you have the dam. What do you do with it, and how do you make sure you're most effective with it going forward for hopefully the long haul? So, Jade, welcome. Over to you.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm excited to present here. Let me give a little bit of my background before I start with the slides. I was in the graphic design area for many, many years. That was my career, particularly in newspapers. And then we know where that went. And I got hired on at Edwards because of my design background, but had no idea of the dam space. So I attended the Henry Stewart conferences for, for years. Like every year I'd go to Chicago or I'd go to LA or New York or whatever and join in on those conferences. And that's where I learned to manage a dam. So I went through all of the stuff, the metadata, learning to do governance and all of that stuff. And I had no idea at the beginning. So once I figured that out from reading material and going to the conferences and just studying and asking questions and everything, we got our I learned about dam, and then a few years in, then we actually implemented a new dam. So I've been through all that, attended John's metadata classes and that sort of stuff, and learned how to set everything up. So once we got all of that going, it's like, where do we go from there? How do we market it? So let me show the next slide, which is a little bit about Edwards Lifesciences. We're one of the global leaders in patient-focused innovations for structural heart disease and critical care monitoring. We are driven by a passion for patients. It's always patients first, and dedicated to improving and enhancing lives through partnerships with clinicians and stakeholders across the global healthcare landscape. We're a global company, and we have regional offices globally. So we create transcatheter heart valves, which they actually sew on site. We also have critical care technologies where we monitor a patient that's in the critical care area of the hospital. We also have surgical valves for those that are younger and not necessarily in the transcatheter heart space. And then we also do clinical research and trials. So that's what Edwards is about. And we're also located in Irvine, California. So we're way out here on the West Coast, where it's going to be just about 90 degrees today. So summer came a little bit early. So what we're doing, we're optimizing our internal dam marketing program. The objectives of our dam marketing program are to increase the number of users and enhance global visibility of the dam within all of our global regions. Originally set up as an in-person program pre-pandemic, it has proven to be very robust and efficient in the new virtual world. We have used proven methods to attract and engage users. I do a lot of team meetings with people that are in the US as well as Europe and globally when they need to learn more about the dam and how to use it. So first of all, I report into the brand identity team. So that was very important, setting up the dam to match the Edwards look and brand. So it's all tied in. If you go on our website or log into the dam, it's all branded. And then we also do measurement, quarterly reports to measure user take-up and who's using what around the world. We also have user engagement things with monthly tips and tricks emails that I send out every month and give each one is on a different topic within the dam, so that people know how to use the best way to download, how to send assets out to users that aren't part of the dam, or if they are part of the dam, how to use the Lightbox to get different items from various folders in the dam and collect those. So yeah, it's very helpful for the users. And then also, at least quarterly, we have a snippet in our company newsletter that encourages people to sign up for the dam. So we get a lot of users using that. And then ongoing training with lunch and learn presentations. I held those when we were pre-pandemic. I would book a conference room and people would bring their lunch, and I would go over different topics of the dam, and that we got quite a few people in there, and it was very helpful. And they had questions, like a lot of people didn't know that we had the dam, or if they could actually set up their own area in the dam to house their assets. So that's been very helpful, so that we can get, as most dam managers have, it's a little bit difficult to get everybody to keep their assets in the same area. So with having this type of stuff going on, we get more people to use it and to use it effectively. So our brand identity, the dam was brand the same style as our marketing projects. We've got the red and the gray are two of our titanium gray, which is one of our main colors. So we have everything branded. So it's part of our One Edwards. We believe that by reinforcing our corporate brand externally to build equity and awareness, we envelop and boost all of our business functions and business units individually. We endeavor to portray one company, one brand, and one consistent image to the outside world. As such, we have streamlined our communications approach, creating one set of standards and templates across the entire company in every business function, every business unit, in every region. And we've had trouble in the past with business units coming up with their own look and that sort of thing. So the brand standards have them focus in on having a brand look of Edwards, and then all those brand assets are right here in the dam, as well as we also have a brand identity website where they can download the templates and everything. But our users and agencies that we farm out to can download the assets here, and they're all branded. So part of our measurement, and also I use it to get new users, is to do a quarterly report that's generated to measure new users. The report also gives an opportunity to give updates on the dam and let users know about our brand standards, assets, etc. Down here I have like a little link that people can use to send out to other people so that they can sign up for the dam. And usually after these go out, I get quite a few new users. And user engagement, our monthly dam tips and tricks goes out every month. Each month, the newsletter is sent out with instructions on one subject to help users become more comfortable with the system, sharing assets and how to use video, how to crop video in the system, and which web browser works best. So I have a variety of topics for each month of the year to send out, and once those are created, and since the dam doesn't change that much, I mean, we have a few updates, and then those are added in to the newsletters. But for the most part, you just create a set of 12, and then you're good to go for the year, unless there's like a drastic change, upgrade in the system or something. But this has been very helpful for our users and has gotten us more users. More of user engagement. We put a snippet in a company-wide newsletter. Right here it has like the link to sign up, a quick start guide, and a detail guide. And then if anybody needs to contact me, it has my email contact in there. So this has got me also a lot of users. So if you have company newsletters, which go out through the email system, and most companies do. I recommend making sure that you have a snippet in there about your dam system so that people know about it countrywide and company-wide as well. So the quarterly lunch and learn meetings are also a way to meet with your users in person or virtually through Teams or Zoom or whatever system that your company uses. But it's a good way to meet and greet people and be live with them to answer the questions about the dam. So in the US, of course, it's just the US people and California people, but also you can provide the virtual meetings for your users globally. Like I've been up in the middle of the night to meet with our Tokyo users, or stayed up a little bit later or early to get with the European people, and it's been working out really well. So, and then also I have a few people that are admins with me as well. I'm pretty much a one-stop shop. I am it as far as the dam person goes at Edwards. So I'm very, very busy. So I do have a few admins that are allowed to upload for their groups, clinical studies and that sort of thing, which aren't really marketing materials. So they have admin privileges. So we'll also do an admin lunch and learn, and then answer any questions and help them with their admin ability so that they can serve their customers as well. And then also I do a dam survey every now and then, every couple of years. And I just found out that we're moving over to a internal survey system. So I'll be able to do that more regularly and not have to go outside for that. So I tailored the questions to see, what works best for people, how they feel about the system, what changes they would like to see, how, even to grade me, how quickly do I respond to their request? Is it enough? Do they want faster or whatever? Since I'm just the one person doing it, it's good to get feedback on that as well, so I can see how I'm doing, where I can improve, how we can change the system. I can contact our sales rep over at the dam company and ask for suggestions on, my users would like to see this or that. So that is the survey part of it that we do. And that's pretty much my presentation. So open for questions.
Thank you, Jade. That was a great overview. I appreciate that. We have a few questions trickling in, but I'll just remind anyone on the line, feel free to add your question to the group, and I have a few.
Okay, cool.
Like I said, it's interesting. Your world is where mine usually leaves off, so I really am interested in that part of it. But so you mentioned that a lot of times when you determine need for system changes, you go to the dam vendor itself. So it
Yes.
sounds like, am I correct that you do not have a team, a technical team supporting the dam internally? Is that fair to say?
Well, we do have a consultant, an internal consultant that works as a liaison with the dam company to address the IT questions. But as far as user type things, then I contact the dam sales rep myself to see what they can help us out with. Because I'm not an IT person, I come from an artistic background.
Yep. Well, but I think your environment is really interesting because we just had another session just prior to this where we had a panel with some let's say some bigger teams represented, and but I think the audience really appreciated the fact that someone brought up like not everyone's team is this like multifaceted 20-person dam team with every skill set represented, so you have to in turn wear a lot of hats, right? And
I do
and that's really great to hear your experience. So actually one question that just came into this respect, how do how do you manage your workload? You know, you're the quintessential dam manager. You're not the technical person, but how do you manage your day to day? Like, you know, can you give us a sense of how you divide your time?
Yes, well, I usually, when I log in the morning, I check my emails and see if I have requests that people need. So I try to take care of that first, customers first, and then I get busy, and then I'll work on other things. Like I'll work on getting out my newsletter, or I'll work on uploading. Like I have two computers in my home setup and at my office, where I'll be working on my PC to take care of the day-to-day business, and then on my Macintosh computer I'll be uploading continuously. Like I have a computer behind me that's now
Yeah.
uploading assets. So that's how I manage. And then also John Herodowski, when I attended one of the sessions, he had a great idea, since I'm a one-person shop, that I should implement an intern program. So I have done that, and it's been successful. So during the summer, I'll get some help in there, and they help me with stuff. But it does help out, but that's pretty much it. I just have to juggle and wear a lot of hats.
Good advice by John, certainly. And but I
Yes.
want to follow up on that. You know, so what did you look for when you went and tried to hire some interns? You know, what kind of skill sets, you know, experience were you looking for from people? And did you find what you were looking for, or did you go a different direction?
No, I did find what I was looking for. I
Okay.
Googled the colleges that have library programs, and I found one up in San Jose that has like a MBA program, and I've hired quite a few people from that who have turned out to be really well. And then Edwards has hired them onto different positions, not necessarily in the librarian field, but yeah, we've been very successful for that. And then like a friend of mine that friend now, I used to be her boss when I was back in the newspaper industry, and we've been friends for years. And she told me her son is interested in being a librarian. So I've hired him on, he's local, and I've hired him on as an intern. So word of mouth works as well. And yeah, we've got some good people from that program.
That's great. So we have another question from someone who is having trouble understanding why you need to market to your staff to get to be a new user, right? Like, why do you have to convince them to be users?
Well, first of all, so that they know that we have a dam and that we have product images in there, and that they need to let their agencies know, because we don't do any internal creativity, all that creative, that's all outsourced. So
Yeah.
people that are product managers and everything, they need to know that we have the dam. So we're constantly needing to let people know, because as people come and go in the company, and when new people come in, they don't know that we have that. And we also have engineers have access to, if they need to look at product imagery, and we keep all the marketing materials in there, and so that we can repurpose it. So it's a cost saving to Edwards, that we don't have to keep creating the same thing over and over. Like most of the creative is done in the US, and then Europe picks it up, and then they recreate it using the templates and everything, and then just it goes through the CE over there for their regulatory systems. But most of it's done here, so it's great cost savings. And yeah, you have to let people know, like I've just had meetings with this group that know about the dam, and they're thinking about implementing another system, and we're like, why would you implement another system? This has all the stuff that you need for what you're going to do. So that's why we have to market it all the time, because dam is very useful, as we all know that are in this field, but other people that aren't in the dam industry, they don't know how useful it is, or that it might even exist at a company.
Yeah, definitely. So what about permissions? Like, how do you determine, you know, what permissions people get? You know, are there, I guess, are there big buckets of roles? You know, is there, like, if you're this type, you get these permissions. If you're this type, you get these permissions. How does that work?
Exactly, that's how we do it. Like
Okay.
like you were talking earlier in one of the presentations with somebody, the patient stuff. So we have patient imagery in there, and it is connected to the release forms, and
Okay.
not everybody can see that because of the HIPAA and all of that. So we keep that under lock and key. Only a few people are eligible to see the patient information. Other than that, and then there's other areas that maybe a product hasn't launched yet. So it's privileged and classified information. So only a few people will be able to see that. So, and then other people don't need to see everything in the dam, like where I have the stuff archived, that's just for admins to see. And if you
Yeah.
want something that's been archived, you have to request that, because we don't want people getting into there and using stuff that is obsolete.
Yeah. So Jade, you also mentioned that a lot of your creative is outsourced, right?
Yes.
So do you have external users using the dam directly? Those
Yes.
agencies that are doing
Uh-huh.
it. So how does your reach? You're the evangelist within Edwards. So how does your reach expand into these agencies as well? Is there an onboarding process, and then once they're onboarded, how do you keep them aware? Do the same kind of marketing to them that to say, hey, you have to use this. Like, I guess maybe they don't have another choice, but but how does that work?
Yes, I have a vendor specific guide. So I
Okay.
send that out to them, which has our naming convention and all that stuff, how to upload, how to tag stuff, all that stuff. So they get sent that. And then if they need additional training, then we do that virtually through Teams. But yeah, and I need to make sure that they get their assets in the dam. So we have a approval system, so I have access to that, and that's where all of the projects go through. And so I download a report from that, and I check it against the dam to see what's in there and what isn't. If it isn't in there, then I contact either the product manager or the agency directly to upload their material, so that we have that, because we've paid for it. Somebody else may want to use it, and we need to have it.
Absolutely. You also brought up something earlier that I thought was interesting. Your organization spans the globe, right? And so you have
Yes.
issues that are U.S. based, very U.S. centric, I'll say, and then there's a handover to Europe and maybe beyond Europe. So I'm curious, what about? I have lots of questions, but number one, from a evangelization standpoint, has it been challenging to kind of get beyond the US and encourage usage, or how's that work? From a geography based perspective.
Um, yes, that is a little bit challenging. I'm trying to get Australia to upload more of their materials, and Europe has been pretty good, but they're just now using the same approval system that the US. So with that, now I can like see what they have in the system and ask them to upload it. We're having a little bit of challenges with that, but we have monthly meetings with them to help that grow. So yeah, the overall plan is to get everybody to put their stuff in there so
Yeah.
it's available, and so saving stuff on the desktop is not an option, because if that person leaves, their computer gets swiped and then there goes that material. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a constant battle for me, and it's always on the agenda of things to do. Yes.
Yeah. So we've actually seen in many cases, and I hate to put it in this in these words, but the pandemic that we've all been living through, for so many of our clients, at least, we've seen it speed up certain things, certain technology initiatives that either were on the roadmap or for some reasons were pushed aside, but also maybe an unintended consequence too is the digital asset management usage among organizations, we saw a bit of a spike, across all of our clients, because now everyone's working from home and they can't just, grab it off of, grab a colleague and say, hey, can you email that to me? Or yell that across the way. They actually are finding a real prioritized usage of the dam. And so I'm curious, has this helped your effort in kind of evangelizing and marketing the value of dam across Edwards?
Yes, I think it has. Yes. More people are using it and getting in there and seeing what's in there, and downloading, and yep. hmm Using the
Yeah.
different areas of it.
So it's not all bad, this whole pandemic thing, I guess. It's
No,
mostly bad, but no,
it's
there's some
mostly
silver
bad.
lining.
That's true.
Some silver lining. All right. We have a question around any assets within your system that are licensed or rights managed. Is that something that you deal with? And how do you define the rights and manage those rights through a life cycle?
We have very few of those. We do purchase stock photography, so we do get the license for that, but that's pretty much it. We don't have a whole lot of that. So we keep the licenses in the dam so that,
Yep.
if somebody would need that. Yeah, so we don't have a whole lot of that. So it's, we hire photographers to take product shots or hire illustrators to do the CG images of the product. So we own that.
Excellent. Makes it a little easier that way.
It sure does. It sure does.
Yeah, I've seen multiple different approaches there. Some manage rights very much. Some say it's cheaper for us to pay the fines. I've heard that one. And some say
Oh,
we're just
wow.
going to buy the rights outright, so we don't have to worry about this problem. We'll just put it aside. And yeah, there's definitely one wrong way to do that, I think, of those options. But I think it sounds like you've got it under control. Question, we have someone say that they love your newsletter and everything you're doing to train your users, but how do you measure the ROI of the system as a whole? Is that something that you're paying attention to and trying to keep track of and present that back up to management to say, hey, it is working. We do have cost savings. We do have efficiency gains. What about that?
Not so much on the cost savings because I wouldn't have direct access to that information, but just on usability, that we gained more users. And since this program has been implemented, we have gained a lot more users than we did when we didn't promote it. So yes, I do. That's out in the quarterly reports, how many users we've gained and how many more assets we have in the system. So yes, I do a report and do crunch the numbers on that part of it. Yes.
Great. And then my final question is around, maybe I'm cheating a little bit and doing a little bit of a transition to our next presenter, because our next presentation is around integrations. And I'm curious, in your world, what other systems are connected to the dam, if any?
We don't have any systems connected to it. It's just a standalone. We primarily use it as a repository because all of the marketing materials are created outside, and we haven't really had a need to have it connected.
That's very interesting. And and that takes me back. I don't know if everyone saw some of my opening comments this morning. I like to talk about it as DAM 1.0, DAM 2.0, DAM 3.0. And you've described a standalone DAM as, what I would describe as a 1.0 DAM, but for some organizations, 1.0 is okay, right? Because that's all you need it for. And it's, I get in trouble sometimes talking about the fact that you always have to be moving to the next step, but that's not always the case. We're all on our own journey. We're all at a different stage of the journey, but we all have different destinations too, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. So, I'm really thrilled to hear that things are working well at Edwards, and I thank you, Jade, for sharing your experiences. I think this has been really interesting, and the dam managers are the true hidden heroes of any successful dam implementation. You need a really good dam manager, and I'm pretty confident that Edwards has a really good one. So
thank you.
So thank you so much for sharing. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your questions. Like I said, the next session is going to be on dam integration fundamentals. But if you want to keep talking with Jade, you can go to the networking lounge. Jade, you're going to be hanging out there for a bit,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's fantastic. So feel free to go talk with Jade and ask her the real nitty gritty dirty questions that you didn't want to air in front of everyone else. You can ask her the secrets behind the Edwards system. So thank you, Jade, so much. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you all in the next session in just a 5-minute break, and we'll be back with that. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.